actually here today with one of our students, Tyson Clay, and Tyson just completed an amazing fix and flip. This thing looks beautiful. We're going to take you through it, but first, I want to introduce you to this awesome guy. Tyson, why don't you tell us your story?
Yeah, about 3 years ago, well, about 3.5, I was a college graduate. I've been graduated from college for about 2 years, and I was so persistent that thinking that I would find a job relating to my degrees. Yeah, I had 2 degrees and then 1 minor in chemistry. I am eligible for every single job out there that relating to my degrees. So it took me about 1.5 years to realize that nobody cares I have a bachelor's degree or 2. Nobody cares what I know, but what they did care about is what my skill sets. They cared about my achievements. They cared about my certifications. And I didn't have any of those, because I was told my entire life by my teachers, my parents, and everybody else that you need a college education in order for you to get a job. If you don't have a college education, you're going to be worthless. That's what I believed. In my frustration, I started trying random jobs. I jumped all over the place. Near the end of that, I saw this Facebook post from my friend Tawny. I asked her about this real estate thing. She invited me to this introduction event that just for people like me that want to know more about it. And when I went, Mitch was presenting that night actually. I actually talked to Mitch after, and Mitch told me, I was watching you and I could tell that you are interested. Want to meet? I can tell you more. And I'm like, yeah, I want to meet you. And so I went from there, and I chose to jump into this community to take advantage of the education that this community has. And now, fast forward to now, I have done many deals. I have 12 short-term rentals. I've been doing flips with Mitch. This is my first flip that I've been in charge of by myself. Very successful flip. And I'm so happy that I'm here. This is just the beginning. There's so much room for growth as long as I stay coachable and keep taking action. I know there's going to be a lot more success for me and everyone around me in the future, thanks to Mitch and everybody else in my community.
Tyson, you're the man. Let's go take a look at this beautiful house, see the work you did.
Let's do it. Yeah. Right. So this room has a couple stories. One of them that I'm thinking of first is, as I was planning, designing, and executing all the plans for this flip, people kept asking me, "Are you gonna change that fireplace? You should paint it, or you should put that wet looking finish on it so that it looks like it's always wet." And I said, "No, it's fine just the way it is."
I think that was the right choice, Tyson. That looks absolutely incredible. I love the exposed brick. It kind of keeps some of the antiquity of the house, right? It reminds you that the house is actually old. Yeah. But with just new finishes everywhere, right? So I think you made the right choice.
Thank you.
Love the sconces too.
When I first got this property, these beams up here were like a bright cherry red, and you can see probably in the like you can probably all see this trim that's up in the corner. This trim is not really desirable. I was wanting to take it off, but that would just add to cost because under the trim there was a gap. And so instead of doing that, we chose to just paint the trim the same color as the beams so it looks like it's supposed to be there.
I think that was a good choice. It blends well. I think if Maylee were here, she would compliment you on your design choices because you took something that was, sounds like it was fairly ugly. Yeah. And I mean, it looks like it belongs. It looks like it was meant to be. So well done. Well, on to the next room.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This room has a story to tell. When I first got this house, this room was full of sewing stuff. For those of you hobbyists like to make quilts, this would be your paradise. Would have been your paradise. So it had shelves lining every single, like IKEA square cubby shelves. You know those shelves?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and so it had those like to the ceiling, lined with all the material and all the sewing stuff and the quilting materials, all the quilting frames that I've never seen before, like in octagon shapes and weird shapes, were here. And it had a drop ceiling, like the kind you see in your college classroom or your elementary classroom, and he had those industrial lights that take the tube neon lights.
The fluorescent bulb.
Yeah, those ones.
Good call, sheetrock in the ceiling, by the way.
Thank you.
Those drop ceilings, and they don't sell in this. Like these days, those are not a thing in residential.
Yeah, this house had so many weird things in it, and that was one of them. So we can talk more about that as we go to different rooms in the house. So this room, I told the framer I want to frame up a ceiling, and he's like, just put it on the trusses. So we did, and that was bad.
Yeah.
Because trusses aren't made to attach finished surfaces to, and so the sheetrock did this. And so I made the sheetrocker take it down. The electrical roughing was done first before sheetrock because it's supposed to be.
Right.
Order of operations.
Yeah.
And he put the wiring for these lights where it was supposed to be, but then the sheetrocker covered up the wires. Has that ever happened to you?
Yep, that has happened.
That happened.
Happens more than I care to admit, actually.
Guys, doing a fix and flip is so lucrative. It's massive cash, but just be prepared for doing a lot of work and fixing people's mistakes.
Yeah. So this was hard enough to do as an educated investor.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to try something like this without any education at all?
Oh, no.
Right? I mean, it's hard enough. So don't put yourself through hell and go try to do this without any education. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Well, this is cool, man. Love the game room.
Thanks.
What's next?
Next, let's go over to the bathroom / laundry room. It's kind of a funky space of the house because of budget. I had to kind of work with it, so let's go.
Let's go check it out.
Yep. So this laundry room is kind of like a dungeon when I first got the property. And I think you can see into this room. This is the bathroom. The strange thing about this space is that the previous owner, or the guy before him, took this laundry room and then he built a wall through it and added a bathroom. If this was a high budget flip, like a Nordstrom flip, I would have totally moved walls and plumbing and moved the HVAC and all kinds of crazy stuff just to make it so that you can access the bathroom from the hall. But this is a Target flip. I didn't have that kind of budget available. So what I chose to do instead is make this room nice. The laundry room is usually just a room that we just leave as it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that I learned from Mitch. But because there's a bathroom in here, and bathrooms are supposed to be nice, I made the laundry room nice.
I think that was a good move. Like, that was the smart thing to do in this scenario. Because you're passing through the laundry room to get to the bathroom. You don't want it dungeony and then, like, nice bathroom, right?
Exactly.
So, well done.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. And we were on a call, actually, doing a house tour for the before. And Mitch gave me that suggestion, and then a few other people piped in and helped out with that, too. This flooring in here is white hexagonal 2-inch tile, and that was important for this room because the floor isn't level. You know, it's shaped like a giant drain, and so we used that so that we could do it that way. Yeah. Now,
gives you the flex and the bend that you needed to follow the slope of the floor. I like it. I'm excited to see the rest of this house. Let's go check it out.
Cool, let's do it. This room was his office room for him. His wife's office room was right above us. It's a bedroom, and I was going to add a closet, but then I found out that you don't really need to have a closet to call it a bedroom in some cases, and this is one of those cases. So my brother was walking through the open house. By the way, Mitch, this open house lasted 7.5 hours.
That's so cool. What's this cubby?
This cubby is where my brother was in here, and there were 3 different buyers in this room. And his daughter climbed into the cubby, and she said, "This is my room." And
nice.
That's when they started brainstorming about how this could be Madeline's room and putting seeds in the buyer's ears that they were going to be the ones to buy this house.
Right. Yeah.
Create some competition.
So is this under the stairs then? Is that why?
Yeah, this is under the stairs, and then where we were in the downstairs living room a few minutes ago, that has the same thing. It's kind of split.
Okay, just on the other side.
Yeah, and then both sides have a water main shut-off valve.
Okay.
There's been a couple of times that water has been flooding a little bit, so I had to sprint down here and dive into the Harry Potter closet and turn off the water really quick.
That's awesome. All right, on to the next room.
Yep.
Let's do it.
So if you know anything about fix and flips, about remodeling property or value adds, you know that the kitchen is the focus of where you dump your money. I say dump, it's probably not the best word, but you know what I mean.
That's essentially what happens. Right?
Yeah.
We just dump it into the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. So because of the budget restrictions that I had, I chose to keep the cabinets. That's not usually something we do these days, but I chose to keep them.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, and the reason
I don't think it was a bad choice this time either.
Thank you. The reason I chose to keep these cabinets, Mitch, is because they are solid oak cabinets, and it kind of hurt my heart to think I'm going to throw away these good cabinets and replace them with cheap Home Depot cabinets.
Yeah,
right? And so I chose to keep them, and the painter reassured me that they have a way of preparing and finishing the cabinet so that they look plastic, making it so that you can hardly even see the oak grain and all the pits. Yeah. And by golly, they did it. So in the kitchen, what I did is I added these pendulum lights that you can see on either side of the frame. Those is part of the electrical finish, and so it's really important that you work closely with the electrician and mark exactly where you want them to be, how tall you want them to be, and all details like that, so that it's done right the first time.
Yep.
Sometimes it requires micromanaging.
You learned your lesson downstairs, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I don't like micromanaging people, but I learned it's necessary sometimes.
Yep.
Especially when it involves finished stuff.
Well, dude, let's check out this living room. I see an accent wall that I absolutely love.
Oh, yeah.
You got to tell me about this thing. Let's go check it out.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so this room is one of the ones that was full of lots and lots of stuff. I know we're further away from the camera, but you know what? We wanted to show off all this beautiful staging and this accent wall. When we were getting ready for painters showed up, and I thought the accent wall was going to be done by then. It wasn't.
Whoops.
So, yeah, whoops. So while they're inside,
painters love that, by the way.
Oh,
we're not ready for you.
Yeah, they became very frustrated with me because they want to do the inside first, but the inside was like a week away from being ready.
Yeah.
So I had to drop the outside and do the inside. While the painters were here, they did this last because they're waiting on me to finish the accent wall. My realtor loves doing accent walls, so she was in here and she was like, let's do an accent wall. And I said, great, those are my thoughts exactly. Who's gonna do it? And she said, oh, can I do it? I love accent walls.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, you can do it.
She's an ambitious lady.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
she said, can you make cuts for me? I said, I will make every cut you want.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Let's go out to the deck.
Let's go check it out.
That's my favorite space in the whole place. So when I got this property, I didn't know there was a deck. Basically, he had so much stuff out here I couldn't even see the surface. But my vision for this space was to make it so cool, Mitch, that the buyers walk out and they just say, this is so awesome. I want to have barbecues and eat out here with my family every night. Maybe close in the walls in the winter so I can have a fire. That's a fireplace, by the way.
That's awesome.
And it's functional. You can have a
so
fire
cool.
and just stay warm in the winter, have date nights, whatever you can imagine, this space is it.
Yeah.
Kind of a flex space, I'm hoping. And the best thing is, the buyer can enjoy listening to the marching band practice. Do you hear that?
There it is. Hopefully they like marching bands.
Yeah, because it's loud, but at least it sounds good.
Right? It does. It does. Town of kids.
Yeah. Let's go into the next room.
Okay, let's do it.
This is the master bedroom. Welcome to where all the magic happens. Another place, if you know what I mean, Mitch.
I love it.
This is where you also want to spend more of your budget is the master bedroom, because this is where the buyer can imagine themselves in the house after they buy it.
Yeah.
Right? Something I learned from you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mitch.
Yep.
One of the things that the Fix and Flip class teaches is that in the master bedroom, it's good to have two different lighting options. Mm-hmm. One lighting option can be a chandelier in the middle with like a warm light to set the mood. The other light can be on a separate switch.
Yeah.
And those lights can just be good
or utilitarian.
General lighting.
Yeah.
It works. And so that's what I did. And this one is a Sputnik chandelier. This Sputnik chandelier can be used to switch out light bulbs to black lights, red lights, warm lights, whatever lights
Smart
they want.
lights, dumb
Smart
lights.
Alexa lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. The door to the master is right behind you, Mitch. When I bought the house, that door was 24 inches wide. I think half of the Americans are more than 24 inches wide.
That's probably the case. That's awesome. Why don't you take us in there and show us?
Okay, follow me. I just told you guys that the door was 24 inches wide. I had the framers cut out more of it and then frame it in for a standard 36-inch wide door. I got a solid core door so that when they're doing their business and making their embarrassing noises, it won't be heard as much. Now in this room, because of budget, we didn't have enough bandwidth to change the bathroom like I wanted to. I would have loved to make the wall wider, change the shape and size of the bathroom, and make the shower more grand. So what we did instead is we knocked out the wall that was right here. It was a framed in wall, and we just put this glass door. We changed the vanity from a small single vanity into a double. The light was changed from a 2 light into a 5 light, and we had to add some plumbing. Now, this vanity we got is from Amazon. I got it because it fits really well with the decor. Everyone who comes in says, "Where'd you get that from? I really want it." They're always surprised when I say Amazon. So you can get some good stuff from Amazon. I hired a handyman who says he's a licensed plumber. He would tell me all the stories about how he was the guy that was sent in to the hard projects that nobody else could do because they all messed it up. And then he was the one that finished a big project in a week. No leaks, he says. Every single plumbing thing he touched failed inspection because it leaks so bad. I had to pay a real plumber to come in and fix all of his leaks. The faucets were wrong, the overflows were not draining. You know, like every sink has an overflow drain. Those weren't working. So that's one of my nightmare stories from this, is after the buyer was under contract for this high price, he was not really excited because he's not a handy person and he was afraid of the leaks. But now those are all fixed and I'm excited to move on with closing on Friday, 2 days away.
All right, so Tyson, this was an amazing flip, man.
Thank you so much.
You freaking killed it. Seeing the pictures of what you had before, and
yeah.
You know, I know we talked several times through this process. He shared a walkthrough on Mitch and Maylee Live, which you guys have to check out if you haven't already been there. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we're live walking through fix and flip properties like this one, sharing incredible education. You don't want to miss it. But Tyson, it's been a fun journey watching you complete this flip, and now to see the finished product, it's absolutely mind-blowing. So why don't you share the numbers with us? How are you going to do on this flip?
Okay, so the numbers are so interesting because when we get a quote from a contractor, that's how we do our long analysis and dial in how much it's going to cost for the construction. So my contractor was he made me think that he's more experienced than he actually is. And he quoted me at a much lower price.
Tends to be a thing that happens quite often. So
good help is so hard to find. So the number he gave me for the construction cost was a lot lower than it actually was in the end, now that everything's coming out of the wash. He said it would cost about $50,000 to $60,000 for the project. And I said, okay, that seems reasonable for what I want to do. The actual construction cost turned out to be about $92,000.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. And so that's about $40,000 more than I expected. And I thought the profit was going to be about $40,000.
Whoops.
Also, whoops. And that was being conservative, right? We're taught through the education, Mitch has hammered over and over and over again, be conservative in your analysis. Never get optimistic, no emotional investing, that's the #1 rule. And so I focused on that as I was doing my analysis for this property, and that's what saved me. I was so conservative when I was analyzing. I had a hard time getting people to jump on board and fund this project for me. But once I found somebody who was okay with $40,000 of profit, they said, yes, we're excited, let's do it. Once the project finished, we listed it for $30,000 over anything that comps supported. No comps support this price point.
Which was how much higher than your original ARV?
Oh, it was $75,000 higher.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So we thought, let's just list it for a little high. We'll give it about 6 days to see if there's any bites. If there's no bites, then we'll lower the price again to something closer to what comps support. But you know what, Mitch? This house really stands out.
It does. You did an amazing job. It's incredible.
Thank you. Compared to other properties in the area, nothing compares to this one. So we're like, let's just set a new standard for everyone else who flips houses here.
Right.
Why not?
I love it.
Yeah, so purchase price. Purchase price was $384,000. The rehab turned out to be $94,000. Agent fees turned out to be, I'm giving her a full 3% commission. You know why?
Because she did a killer job.
She doesn't just list the property and collect money when it sells. No. This agent works for her money. She was my designer. She helped me choose when I had a problem with the colors or the materials or the actual feel, contemporary design, whatever it was, she was there for every step of the way. She also staged it. She also listed it. She did the open house. And because of this, I have an offer at asking price.
That's awesome.
3 days after I listed it.
So what did you end up selling this house for?
Yeah, so we listed it at $624,900. The offer we accepted was for $625,000.
Okay.
2-week close, $100,000 down payment. This guy has looked at over 400 houses. He has a spreadsheet to prove it all.
Nice.
And so I was afraid at first that he would be skittish and find any reason to back out of this. But no, he walked in here during the open house. He was here for 2 hours. He asked lots of questions. He sat down on stuff, looked really closely at stuff. Then he left and brought back his wife. They were here for an hour. And then they left and brought back their kids.
Nice.
They were here for an hour and a half. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So after that, he walked up to Shelly and said, "This is the one. This is the one for me. Under contract for $625,000.
And how much money are you gonna make?
Or I'm gonna make about $80,000 on this one."
80 grand. Can't complain about 80 grand, right?
Right.
Well done, Tyson.
I'm pretty happy with it, thank you. Even though we're $40,000 over budget,
Yep.
still making $80,000.
Hey, at the end of the day, 80 grand in the bank, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well done on this property, Tyson.
Thank you.
Do you want to learn how to do fix and flips just like Tyson did? No matter what your background or experience, you can learn how to be a successful real estate investor. If you're interested, please click the Epics link in the description to schedule a free call with us. Also, while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the flip side.